Something magnificent is happening right now in your life, and you may not even be aware of it yet. There's a force, an energy, a power that's working on your behalf at this very moment. It's been working all along, actually, but perhaps you haven't been tuned in to receive it. Perhaps you've been so caught up in the struggles, the worries, the daily grind, that you haven't noticed the subtle shifts taking place in your reality. But I'm here to tell you that a big miracle is coming your way, and the only thing standing between you and that miracle is your willingness to be ready for it. You see, miracles aren't these random events that happen to lucky people. They're not reserved for the chosen few or the especially deserving. Miracles are the natural outcome of aligning yourself with the creative force of the universe. They happen when you shift your consciousness from fear to love, from scarcity to abundance, from doubt to faith. And right now, at this very moment, you have the opportunity to make that shift. Let me share something with you that changed my entire perspective on life. For so many years, I believed that I had to make things happen through sheer force of will. I thought success meant pushing harder, working longer, struggling more intensely. I was convinced that life was difficult and that I had to fight for every little thing I wanted. And you know what? Life reflected that belief right back to me. It was difficult. It was a struggle. Every achievement came with tremendous effort and stress. But then something shifted. I began to understand that there's a different way to live. There's a way of being that doesn't require all that struggle and force. It's a way of allowing, of receiving, of opening yourself up to the infinite possibilities that already exist in the universe. You don't have to create miracles. You simply have to allow them to flow into your life. Think about it this way. Right now, there are radio waves all around you. Music, voices, information, all traveling through the air at different frequencies. But you can't hear any of it unless you have a radio, and that radio has to be tuned to the right frequency. The music exists whether you hear it or not. The miracle that's coming your way already exists in the field of infinite possibilities. Your job isn't to create it. Your job is to tune yourself to the frequency where you can receive it. So how do you do that? How do you tune yourself to receive miracles? It starts with understanding who you really are. You are not just a physical body moving through space and time. You are not just your job title, your bank account, your relationships, or your past experiences. At your core, you are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are a piece of the divine creative force that brought the entire universe into existence. You have within you the same power that creates galaxies, that makes flowers bloom, that causes your heart to beat without you having to think about it. But somewhere along the way, most of us forget this truth. We start to identify with our limitations instead of our limitless nature. We look at our circumstances and we say, this is who I am, this is all I can be, this is all I can have. We let our past define our future. We let other people's opinions determine our worth. We let fear and doubt block the flow of miracles into our lives. The miracle that's coming your way requires you to let go of these limited ideas about yourself. It requires you to expand your sense of what's possible. It requires you to stop living from your ego and start living from your higher self. Your ego is the part of you that feels separate, that believes in lack and limitation, that's always worried about survival and competition. Your higher self is the part of you that knows you're connected to everything, that there's more than enough for everyone, that you're safe and loved and supported by the universe at all times. When you live from your ego, you block miracles. You're in a state of resistance. You're pushing against life instead of flowing with it. You're trying to control outcomes instead of trusting the process. You're focused on what you don't have instead of appreciating what you do have. And all of this creates a vibrational frequency that actually pushes miracles away from you. But when you live from your higher self, you open the floodgates. You become a magnet for miracles. You align yourself with the natural flow of abundance that wants to move through you and to you. You stop being a blocked pipe and you become an open channel for all the good that the universe has to offer. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. You're thinking, that sounds wonderful, but you don't know my situation. You don't know how difficult my life has been. You don't know the problems I'm facing. And you're right, I don't know your specific circumstances. But I do know this. Whatever you're facing right now, no matter how challenging it seems, is not bigger than the power that lives within you. The same intelligence that orchestrates the movement of planets and the changing of seasons is available to you right now to transform your life. The question is, are you willing to receive it? Are you willing to let go of your attachment to your problems? Because sometimes we get so identified with our struggles that we can't let them go. They become our identity. We become the person who has this disease, the person who can't find a good relationship, the person who never has enough money, the person who was hurt in the past. And as long as we hold on to these identities, we can't receive the miracle that would transform them. Receiving a miracle requires a certain kind of faith, not faith in the religious sense necessarily, although that can be part of it. I'm talking about faith as a way of being, faith as a decision to trust life instead of fear it, faith as a willingness to believe in possibilities that your logical mind can't yet comprehend. Faith as an openness to receive good even when your current circumstances don't seem to reflect it. You see, most people have it backwards when it comes to faith. They say, I'll believe it when I see it. But that's not how miracles work. With miracles, you have to believe it before you see it. You have to hold the vision of what you want to experience, even when your current reality shows you something completely different. You have to feel the feelings of having received your miracle before it shows up in physical form. This isn't about denying reality or pretending problems don't exist. It's about understanding that your current reality is simply the result of your past thinking and believing. If you want a different reality, you have to think and believe differently right now. You have to become the person who has already received the miracle. You have to align your thoughts, your feelings, your words, and your actions with the reality you want to experience. Let me tell you something about the universe. It doesn't respond to your words. It doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to your vibration. It responds to the energy you're putting out. And your energy is determined by your thoughts and feelings. If you're constantly thinking thoughts of lack, limitation, fear, and doubt, you're sending out a signal that attracts more experiences that match those thoughts. But if you shift your thinking to thoughts of abundance, possibility, love, and trust, you send out a different signal. And the universe must respond with experiences that match that higher frequency. This is why gratitude is so powerful. When you're in a state of genuine gratitude, you're automatically aligning yourself with abundance. You're acknowledging the good that's already in your life, and that acknowledgement attracts more good to you. It's a universal law. Like attracts like. What you focus on expands. What you appreciate appreciates. So if you want to receive the miracle that's coming your way, start by being grateful for what you have right now. Even if it doesn't seem like much, even if you're facing challenges, there's always something to be grateful for. Your breath, your life, your ability to read or hear these words. The fact that you woke up this morning with another chance to experience this beautiful gift called life. And as you practice gratitude, you'll start to notice something amazing. You'll start to see that you're already surrounded by miracles. The fact that your body heals itself when you get a cut, that's a miracle. The fact that there are billions of stars in the sky and you can look up and see them, that's a miracle. The fact that you can think a thought and that thought can change your entire emotional state, that's a miracle. The fact that you can love and be loved, that's a miracle. We're so used to these everyday miracles that we don't even recognize them anymore. We take them for granted. We're always looking for some big dramatic event that we can call a miracle. And in the meantime, we miss the constant flow of miracles happening all around us and through us every single day. But the miracle that's coming your way, the one that you're preparing to receive right now, this is going to be one that you recognize. This is going to be one that shifts something significant in your life. It might be a healing. It might be a relationship. It might be an opportunity. It might be a solution to a problem that's been plaguing you. It might be a complete transformation of your circumstances. I don't know what form your miracle will take, but I know it's on its way, and I know that your willingness to receive it is what will allow it to manifest in your life. Now, receiving a miracle also requires you to let go of resistance. Resistance is anything that blocks the natural flow of good into your life. And one of the biggest forms of resistance is judgment. When you judge yourself, when you judge others, when you judge your circumstances, you create a barrier between you and the miracle you're meant to receive. Think about judgment for a moment. When you judge something as bad or wrong, you're essentially saying, this shouldn't be happening. I know better than the universe how things should be. But what if everything that's happening is happening for a reason? What if even the challenges you're facing are part of the process that's bringing your miracle to you? What if the difficulties you're experiencing are actually preparing you to receive something even greater than you could have imagined? I've seen this pattern over and over again in my own life and in the lives of countless others. The biggest breakthroughs often come right after the biggest challenges. The darkest hour really is just before the dawn. But if you're judging the darkness, if you're resisting it and fighting against it, you slow down the dawn. You delay your breakthrough. You block your miracle. So practice non-judgment. Practice acceptance. This doesn't mean you have to like everything that's happening. It doesn't mean you shouldn't take action to change things. It simply means you stop resisting what is. You acknowledge your current reality without making it wrong. You accept it as part of your path. And from that place of acceptance, you're free to create something new. Another form of resistance that blocks miracles is attachment to how things should happen. We have this tendency to decide exactly how our miracle should show up. We think we know the best way, the right way, the only way for things to work out. And then when life doesn't follow our script, we get disappointed or frustrated or we give up altogether. But the universe is far more creative than we are. The intelligence that runs this entire cosmos has access to possibilities and solutions that our limited human minds can't even conceive of. When you insist that your miracle has to come in a specific form or through a specific channel, you're limiting what the universe can deliver to you. You're like someone standing at the ocean with a teaspoon saying, "I'm ready to receive, but only this much and only in this way." So yes, have your desires, have your vision, know what you want, but then surrender the how and the when to a power greater than yourself. Say to the universe, "This or something better, in your way and in your timing." And then trust. Trust that what's meant for you will find you. Trust that the miracle that's coming is even better than the one you were imagining. Trust that the universe has your back. This kind of trust isn't always easy, especially if you've been hurt or disappointed in the past. Maybe you've trusted before and it didn't work out the way you hoped. Maybe you've believed in miracles before and felt let down. If that's your story, I want you to know something important. Those experiences weren't failures. They were redirections. They were the universe saying, "Not that, something better, not now, but soon. Not that way, but this way." Every seeming setback, every closed door, every disappointment is actually part of a larger pattern that's working in your favor. You can't see the full picture while you're living it. You can only see it in retrospect. But from a higher perspective, everything that's ever happened to you has been preparing you for this moment. Everything you've been through has made you stronger, wiser, more capable of receiving and handling the miracle that's coming. And here's something else that's crucial to understand. You don't have to be perfect to receive a miracle. You don't have to have your life completely together. You don't have to be completely healed from all your past wounds. You don't have to be completely free of doubt or fear. You just have to be willing. You just have to be open. You just have to say yes to the possibility that something wonderful can happen for you. Too many people disqualify themselves from miracles. They think they're not worthy. They think they're not ready. They think they haven't done enough spiritual work or personal development. They think they need to be better before they can receive better. But that's just the ego talking. That's just fear, trying to keep you small and safe and stuck where you are. The truth is, you're worthy right now. You're ready right now. You're enough right now. Not because of what you've done or achieved or overcome, but simply because you exist. You're a creation of the divine, and the divine doesn't make mistakes. You were born worthy. You were born deserving of every good thing. You were born to receive miracles. It's your birthright. It's your natural state. What's unnatural is the struggle and the suffering and the lack. Those things aren't your destiny. They're just temporary experiences created by false beliefs and limited thinking. And the beautiful thing is, you can change your thinking right now. You can choose different thoughts. You can tell yourself a different story. You can shift your perspective, and in doing so, shift your entire reality. So start telling yourself the truth. The truth is that you're loved beyond measure. The truth is that you're supported by the entire universe. The truth is that infinite intelligence is working on your behalf at this very moment. The truth is that a miracle is already on its way to you. The truth is that everything is working out for your highest good, even when it doesn't look like it. When you align yourself with these truths, when you make them your dominant thoughts and beliefs, your entire energy shifts. You move from a frequency of lack to a frequency of abundance. You move from a consciousness of fear to a consciousness of love. And in that higher state of consciousness, miracles are not only possible, they're inevitable. Now, as you're preparing to receive your miracle, there are some practical things you can do to stay aligned. First, pay attention to your thoughts. Notice when you're thinking thoughts that don't serve you. Notice when you're worrying about the future or ruminating about the past. Notice when you're judging yourself or others. And when you catch yourself in these lower frequency thoughts, gently redirect yourself. Choose a better thought. Choose a thought that feels more like love, more like possibility, more like trust. Second, pay attention to your words. Your words have power. They're not just sounds or symbols. They're creative forces. When you speak, you're literally bringing things into being. So speak words of life and possibility and abundance. Speak words that affirm the miracle you're receiving. Don't speak your problems into existence over and over again. Don't rehearse your limitations. Don't declare what you can't do or can't have. Speak as if your miracle has already happened. Speak with certainty and confidence about the good that's coming into your life. Third, pay attention to your feelings. Your feelings are your guidance system. They're telling you whether you're aligned with your higher self or your ego. When you feel good, peaceful, joyful, hopeful, excited, you're aligned. You're on the right frequency to receive miracles. When you feel bad, anxious, frustrated, angry, hopeless, you're out of alignment. You're blocking the flow. Now, this doesn't mean you should suppress negative feelings or pretend they don't exist. It means you should feel them, acknowledge them, and then choose to shift them. You can't heal what you don't feel, but you also don't have to live in those feelings. You can feel the fear and then choose faith. You can feel the doubt and then choose trust. You can feel the sadness and then choose hope. You always have a choice about where you place your attention and what you do with your emotions. Fourth, take inspired action. Receiving a miracle doesn't mean sitting around doing nothing, waiting for something to drop out of the sky. It means being open and attentive to the guidance you receive and then acting on it. Inspired action is action that comes from alignment, not from fear or desperation. It's action that feels right, that flows easily, that energizes you rather than draining you. You'll know when you're taking inspired action because it won't feel like struggle. It will feel like cooperation with the universe. It will feel like you're being led, supported, carried along by a force greater than yourself. And often, the action itself might seem small or insignificant, but it will lead to something much bigger. That's how miracles often work. They start with a small nudge, a little intuition, a simple action, and then they unfold into something magnificent. Fifth, practice patience. I know you want your miracle now. I know you're ready for things to change. But the universe operates on its own timeline, not yours. Everything has a gestation period. An apple, a seed doesn't become an apple tree overnight. A baby doesn't grow from conception to birth in a week. And your miracle is growing, developing, making its way to you. Trust the timing. Trust that when it arrives, it will be exactly the right time. Impatience is a form of resistance. It's you saying to the universe, I don't trust your timing. I don't trust the process. I need it now, or it doesn't count. But when you practice patience, when you trust the unfolding, you relax. And in that relaxed state, you're actually more open to receive. You stop blocking the flow with your anxiety and urgency. Sixth, surround yourself with people who believe in miracles. The people you spend time with have a huge influence on your consciousness. If you're surrounded by cynics and skeptics and people who only see limitations, their energy will pull you down. But if you surround yourself with people who believe in possibilities, who see the good in life, who expect miracles, their energy will lift you up. You don't have to cut people out of your life, but you do need to be conscious about whose energy you're allowing to influence you. Seek out teachers, authors, speakers who inspire you. Find communities of like-minded people who are on a similar path. Protect your consciousness the way you would protect a precious garden. Don't let just anything grow there. Be selective about what you allow in. Seventh, and this is perhaps the most important, live as if your miracle has already happened. Don't wait until you receive it to be happy. Don't postpone your joy until your circumstances change. Be happy now. Be grateful now. Be at peace now. Because the truth is, If you can't be happy and grateful and peaceful before the miracle arrives, you won't be happy and grateful and peaceful after it arrives either. You'll just find something else to worry about or want. The state of consciousness you cultivate now is the state of consciousness you'll have in the future. So cultivate joy now. Cultivate peace now. Cultivate abundance consciousness now, even if your bank account doesn't reflect it yet. Cultivate health consciousness now, even if your body is still healing. Cultivate love consciousness now, even if you're still waiting for the right relationship. Because it's your consciousness that creates your reality, not the other way around. When you live this way, when you embody the energy of already having received your miracle, something magical happens. You stop chasing it. You stop needing it. And in that state of non-neediness, you become a perfect match for it. It can find you easily because you're vibrating at the same frequency it is. This is the paradox of manifestation. The less attached you are to the outcome, the more quickly it comes. The more you need something, the more you push it away. But when you want something while simultaneously being okay if it doesn't come exactly as you planned, you're in the perfect receptive state. You're saying to the universe, I'm open to this wonderful thing, and I'm also trusting that whatever comes is for my highest good. Now, I want to address something that might be on your mind. You might be wondering, what if my miracle doesn't come? What if I do all these things and nothing changes? What if I open myself up to disappointment? And I want to tell you something very clearly. If you do these things, if you truly align yourself with the principles I've shared, something will absolutely change. It might not change in the exact way you expect. It might not come in the exact form you imagine, but you will experience a shift. You will receive something good. You will experience growth and expansion. Because here's the secret that many people miss. The real miracle isn't always the external thing you're hoping for. The real miracle is who you become in the process of preparing to receive it. The real miracle is the transformation that happens in your consciousness. The real miracle is the peace you find, the faith you develop, the love you experience, the trust you cultivate. These internal shifts are actually more valuable than any external miracle could ever be. And once you have these internal shifts, once you've raised your consciousness to a higher level, the external miracles become almost inevitable. They're just the natural reflection of your internal state. They're the universe saying, yes, you're ready now, you're a match now, here's what you've been asking for. So don't focus on the miracle itself. Focus on becoming the person who is ready to receive it. Focus on aligning yourself with love instead of fear. Focus on trusting instead of doubting. Focus on appreciating instead of complaining. Focus on giving instead of just taking. Focus on serving instead of just being served. Because when you become this kind of person, miracles don't just come to you occasionally. They become your normal, everyday experience. You know, we live in a universe that is infinitely abundant. There's more than enough for everyone. There is enough health, enough wealth, enough love, enough opportunity, enough everything. The only lack is in our consciousness, in our limited thinking, in our belief that we have to compete and struggle and fight for our share. But the truth is, there are no limited resources in the spiritual realm. And everything in the physical realm ultimately comes from the spiritual realm. So when you tap into that spiritual source, when you align yourself with infinite supply, you have access to everything you could ever need or want. Not through taking from others, but through opening yourself to receive from the unlimited source of all good. This is what it means to live a miracle-ready life. It means living from a consciousness of abundance. It means knowing that you're supported. It means trusting that what you need will come. It means believing that the universe is friendly, not hostile. It means seeing yourself as a beloved child of the divine, not as a struggling orphan trying to make it on your own. And when you live this way, when you truly embody this consciousness, your whole life becomes a miracle. Every day becomes an adventure. Every challenge becomes an opportunity. Every person you meet becomes a teacher or a blessing. Every experience becomes meaningful. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstances and you start feeling like a co-creator with the universe. This is your birthright. This is what you were born to experience. Not struggle and suffering and limitation, but joy and peace and abundance. Not fear and doubt and worry, but faith and trust and confidence. Not lack and scarcity and competition, but plenty and generosity and cooperation. So right now, in this moment, make a decision. Decide that you're ready to receive your miracle. Decide that you're done with the old way of living, the old way of thinking, the old way of being. Decide that you're going to open yourself up to something new, something better, something miraculous. And as you make this decision, feel it in your body. Feel the shift happening. Feel yourself letting go of resistance. Feel yourself opening up. Feel yourself becoming receptive. Feel yourself aligning with the infinite power of the universe. Feel yourself becoming a magnet for miracles. Your miracle is coming. It's already in motion. It's already making its way to you. The universe has heard your desire. It has felt your longing. It has seen your struggles. And it's responding with something wonderful, something beyond what you've been able to see or comprehend until now. So be ready, stay open, keep your consciousness high, maintain your faith, practice your gratitude, live your joy, speak your truth, take your inspired action, and most of all, trust. Trust that you're loved, trust that you're supported, trust that you're worthy, trust that your good is coming. The miracle you've been waiting for is waiting for you to be ready to receive it. And everything you need to be ready is already within you. You just have to activate it. You just have to align with it. You just have to allow it. So let go of the struggle. Release the fear. Surrender the doubt. Open your hands. Open your heart. Open your mind. And receive the miracle that's been yours all along. It's time. You're ready. And the universe is ready to deliver it to you. All you have to do is say yes. Yes to the miracle. Yes to the transformation. Yes to the life you were born to live. Yes to being exactly who you came here to be. Yes to receiving all the good that's available to you. Yes to miracles.